Hello everyone, Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. I have another Monday quarterback video for you. This time it comes from the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. This shooting occurred in 2021. This is apparently the fifth officer involved shooting for the Vegas police. And this video is about 7.5 minutes long. A lot of it is their public relations person talking about the incident, explaining what's going on. The actual shooting portion of it is pretty short and almost anticlimactic in a way, and you can't really see much because the officer is taking cover and the camera's just basically looking at his jawline and his rifle. You don't really get to see a whole lot. But there is a lot to see and learn from, regardless of you not being able to see a whole lot. So I'll play this video and I may intermittently pause and talk about what's going on to explain what's going on. That way you have a better understanding, and I'll talk about things that I think are done right and or wrong. Without further ado, here we go.
May 22nd, 2021. This is officer involved shooting number 5 for this year. It's non-fatal officer involved shooting number 3. And at the same time last year, we had 8 officer involved shootings, 5 of which were not fatal. The date and time of this call was May 22nd, 2021 at 04:43 in the morning, and the type of call we responded to was a person with a gun. The location of the officer involved shooting was the 6200 block of Windfresh Drive, Las Vegas, Nevada 89148, and it's pictured on the map to my left, and this is located in the Summerlin Area Command.
All right, so I'm going to pause this so you can kind of get a better idea of where people are at and or located.
The involved officer in this event is Officer Michael Graca. He is 30 years old and has been with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department since 2018. In this incident, Officer Graca was armed with a Daniel Defense rifle, which is a .223 caliber rifle. The investigation revealed that Officer Graca fired 1 round during this incident.
Okay, so like I said, when we get to the body camera footage, you're not going to be able to see a whole lot. But with this aerial view, I can tell you that this officer guy, he is behind a vehicle that is in the driveway here at this house, and he's got his rifle out and he's aiming over towards here. There's a bad guy up on the balcony of the house, and then he actually comes out the front door of the house and then moves about in the yard area kind of right in here. But this is the layout. So you got the officers over here. They're taking cover behind this person's car that's in their driveway, and their line of sight and fire is like so.
Officer Graca is assigned to the Community Policing Division and specifically the Summerlin Area Command. The suspect in this event is Sanjeev Singh. He's a 49-year-old Pacific Islander. He's an adult male, obviously. He's 6 feet tall, weighs 185 pounds, and he is pictured to my left in the photo on the screen. During this incident, Mr. Singh was armed with a Mossberg 12-gauge shotgun and a Brico 9mm handgun. During the execution of a search warrant, 2 other firearms were also located within his residence. However, physical evidence showed that he did not fire these weapons during this incident. Mr. Sanjeev's charges at this time, he's been charged with 2 counts of attempted murder with a deadly weapon on a police officer. He's been charged with 3 counts of discharging a gun within a structure within a prohibited area. And he's been charged with 3 counts of discharging a firearm into an occupied structure. All of those charges are felonies. The details of the officer-involved shooting are as follows. On Saturday, May 22nd, 2021, at approximately 4:43 a.m., the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department Dispatch Center received a call from a residence located at the 6200 block of Windfresh Drive, Las Vegas, Nevada 89148. A female caller stated that her husband, Sanjeev Singh, was intoxicated and hallucinating. She also stated that Mr. Singh was armed with a firearm. As previously mentioned, Mr. Singh was hallucinating and believed someone was coming to his residence to shoot him. As officers were arriving, the female and her teenage son exited the residence and met up with the officers. She told the officers that Mr. Singh was alone in the house and that he had access to several firearms. At that point, officers began surrounding the residence and created a perimeter. While doing so, several shots were heard from inside of Mr. Singh's residence. At that point, the incident was deemed a barricade. And in situations like these, when a call becomes a barricade, we attempt to slow the momentum and call in additional resources to assist us in contacting the person that's involved in an attempt to resolve this peacefully. Officer Gracia and his spotter were providing containment near the residence and were posted behind a parked vehicle. During this time, Mr. Singh stepped out onto the second-story balcony and fired around toward Officer Gracia and his partner with a long gun. Officer Gracia returned fire with one round from his patrol rifle towards Mr. Singh. Our Special Weapons and Tactics team and the Crisis Negotiating team were then requested to the scene, but prior to SWAT arriving, Mr. Singh sporadically shot at Officer Gracia and his partner from inside of the residence. When SWAT and negotiators arrived and took over the containment of the inner perimeter, they immediately attempted to de-escalate this dangerous and volatile situation, and at approximately 6:56 a.m., Mr. Singh stepped out onto his second-floor balcony while holding a shotgun in his hand, and a short time after that, he stepped back into the residence. A few minutes later, he stepped out of the front door of his residence armed with a shotgun, and he quickly placed the gun on the front lawn and stepped back into the residence again. At approximately 7 a.m., Mr. Singh was peacefully taken into custody by SWAT officers after he exited the rear of his residence and jumped a rear wall into his neighbor's yard. And we will now show you the body-worn camera video from the officer-involved shooting.
Okay, I got you. Keep looking.
All right, so if you remember the aerial view that I showed you, they're basically in the driveway of this person's house taking cover behind their car. And he is aiming down this street and across another street to the house where this person's at. So he's got a Daniel Defense rifle, has a bipod on there, and an optic of some sort. Couldn't really tell what it was. I'll back this up a little bit more.
From the officer-involved shooting.
Okay, I got you. Keep looking.
Yeah, and there an optic of some sort. Looks like flip up iron sights. And I can't tell if he has a light on the rifle on the other side or not. We just can't see a whole lot what's going on with this particular rifle. I would hope that he has a rifle on there, and he has a forward assist grip. Just random thought. I would be pissed if someone was using my car as cover for a gunfight. I wouldn't be too happy about it, but there's not much those people can do because, this is an exigent circumstance. But officer appears to be a left-handed person.
I can see him inside, but
Look at his thumb.
it's not. Oh shit!
So they got shot at. He has disengaged safety, and he has put his finger on the trigger.
DC-1, he just took a round toward the...
Okay. He aimed and fired.
Fire, just took a round. Nope, I shot. One DC-1, OIS. Officer still... Oh my god. I can still see him. I can still see him. Robert 42, shots fired. He's still at the balcony area. Just shot towards us. Oh, shit.
You're good. You're good. Get in your house now. You're going to get shot. Get in your house.
Oh, shit.
Obviously, it sounds like people have come outside to see what the hell's going on. The other officer is yelling at them to go back inside the house, or they risk being shot. This officer still has safety disengaged, and he has mentioned that he can still see the guy, but for whatever reason, he has chosen not to continue to fire at the bad guy.
Unknown. I don't have visual. If I pop my head up, he's going to shoot at me again. My partner still has a rifle. Right? You fired, correct? Yes, I fired. Officers fired. And then did you shoot? Yes, he shot right as I saw the muzzle flash. He shot right at us, and he's still there.
All right, so as you can see in that video,
All right, so I'll back it up so you can watch it again.
Get in your house.
Oh, shit. He's still at the balcony. Oh, my God. Oh, shit! I can see him inside, but he's not. Oh, shit! One DC-1, he just took a round towards us. We'll take the fire, just took a round. Nope, I shot. One DC-1, OIS.
So you'll notice his finger as he does not appear to be actually aiming the rifle at the guy and is more concerned with talking on the radio.
Oh my God. I can still see him. I can still see him.
All right, so at that point when he says he can still see him and his finger's on the trigger area, all right, that's cool. But then as he does this, talking on the radio, he's not clearly aiming through the rifle.
Oh, shit.
You're good. You're good. Get in your house now. You're going to get shot. Get in your house.
Oh, shit. Unknown. I don't have visual. If I pop my head up, he's going to shoot at me again. My partner still has a rifle. Right?
All right, so he's moving around a lot. And when he's not actively aiming this rifle at the guy, his finger is in too close of a resting place to this trigger with the safety disengaged. If he's got a bead on this guy with his sights, okay, yeah, you can keep that finger a little bit closer to that trigger. But, I mean, he never fires again after this point. So he's just basically using poor trigger finger placement, in my opinion, and should have had a little bit more better control over that finger if he was not making that conscious decision to be shooting. So he did fire once, like I said, and I'm kind of okay with his finger hovering around the trigger as he's, still sighting in this guy. But the moment he comes off sights and he's jacking with his radio, that finger should have gone into a high index along the receiver instead of hanging around in the trigger guard area, and that safety should have been engaged. So that's probably a sign of a lack of rifle, or not, I wouldn't say a lack of rifle training, but a lack of a proficient amount of rifle training. My other issue is he shoots the guy, or he doesn't shoot the guy, he shoots at the guy, and then he proceeds to say he can still see him. In my opinion, if this guy has just shot at you and you've fired at him and you can see him and he's still moving around and your round didn't do anything to him, you need to shoot again. You shoot to stop the threat. This guy's still a threat. He's still up moving around. He's still got his damn shotgun. You don't know if he's going to just give up after that point after being shot at. You don't know if he's going to continue to take random shots at officers or even people or anything like that. So you have to assume that because he just now shot at you and you're a uniformed police officer, that he's going to continue doing stupid shit like that. And we don't want to give the bad guys any lucky shots. So once that dude made that decision to point the shotgun at these officers and pull the trigger and attempt to kill them, it was green light after that. This officer, he fired one round. It was ineffective, didn't hit. Officer could still see him. This officer should have fired again and stopped the threat. So that's my biggest negative on this right here, is he failed in my opinion, he failed to do his job. Um, that may not sit well with some people, but you know what? That's my opinion. This is my channel, so deal with it.
Oh shit!
One DC-1, he just took a round towards us. Okay, for fire, I just took a round. Did you shoot?
Nope, I shot.
One DC-1, OIS.
When you're in a position like this and it's you on the rifle and you got another guy there with you, let that other guy take over communications. Let them be the radio operator. Turn your radio down to a level where it's not super loud and it's not interfering with you. And focus on your rifle. Focus on the sights and focus on the threats. There's in this particular scenario, when that other officer, who this assistant chief guy has already described as a spotter, that spotter guy should be taking care of the radio operations while this guy maintains as many points of contact on this rifle as possible to get nice, clean, accurate hits. But obviously, you can't always do that. Obviously, if you're by yourself, someone's got to operate the radio, and it's going to be you. But in this particular scenario, where you're posted up, you got cover, there's distance, that other person should just automatically become the radio operator, and they're the only one who's dealing with talking on the radio, while you, the shooter, maintain all points of contact on that rifle to maximize your effectiveness.
Oh my god. I can still see him. I can still see him.
And shoot him.
Robert 42, shots fired. He's still at the balcony area. Just shot towards us. Oh shit.
You're good. You're good. Get in your house, now! You're gonna get shot. Get in your house.
Oh shit.
Unknown, I don't have visual. If I pop my head up, he's gonna shoot at me again. My partner still has a rifle. Right? You fired, correct?
Yes, I fired.
Officers fired. Metro Law, and then did you shoot at him?
Yes, he shot right as I saw the muzzle flash. He shot right at us, and he's still there.
All right, so as you can see in that video and as you can hear, you could hear the first round, which was fired by Mr. Singh at the direction of the officers, and then you see the one round fired by Officer Grace back towards the suspect. And now we're going to play footage from this event where the suspect you see comes out of his residence and he's armed with the shotgun.
Now, I don't know the time frame in which this has occurred. I would say it's most
And this
likely
is video of Mr. Singh coming out of the
after
front door
he
and
shot
placing the
at the
shotgun on the
officers.
grass.
But how long after that, I don't really know.
So I think when you look at this incident, it's really important to note that the officers involved in this and the amount of their tactics and their training and their ability to de-escalate this was what brought this call to a safe conclusion, where the officers were uninjured after being fired at, and Mr. Singh was safely taken into custody.
All right, that's that. Like I said, very short video of the shooting. You don't see a whole lot. The camera's kind of mostly pointed at his jawline and most of the rifle and the cover that they're behind. Biggest takeaways from this: if you're in the situations where you've got good cover, you're the rifleman, so to speak, and you got a person there with you, that person needs to be the designated radio operator. They need to be the ones worrying about talking. If you're the shooter, that's what you need to be focused on. You need to be focused on shooting. And as far as shooting goes, he should have shot again and made sure that the threat was no longer a threat. That's my only real negative thing I have to say about this video. If you like what you see and hear, go ahead and give me a like and a share. If you have not already, hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for more Monday quarterback videos. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense, thank you for watching.